All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a sweeping tour through the absolute pinnacle of classical Ottoman architecture, the Blue Mosque. Built between 1609 and 1616, this isn't just a beautiful building, It's a 17th century marvel that was meticulously engineered to leave a massive, permanent mark on history. But before we even step foot inside, you really have to understand the drama and the historical stakes at play here. By placing this specific Ottoman structure directly opposite the Byzantine Hagia Sophia, the architects were essentially sparking a massive, symbolic dialogue between two vastly different civilizations and their completely distinct architectural styles. So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the history and that magnificent vision. Second, we'll break down the architectural genius and support system. Third, we'll step into the breathtaking interior of the Blue Mosque. And finally, we'll explore the giant surrounding complex that makes it so much more than just a mosque. Okay, part 1, history and magnificent vision, setting the stage for a masterpiece. This location, it wasn't just some random spot they picked. Building this directly over the ruins of the Byzantine Great Palace and the Hippodrome was a deliberate, calculated power move. Sultanahmet I was literally planting his masterpiece right on the ashes of the old empire's administrative heart. It was a bold, undeniable way to announce a new era. Moving on to Section 2, Architectural Genius and Support System, the exterior walkthrough. As you walk up to the exterior, the very first thing that hits you is the minarets. There are 6 of them, and back in the day, this sparked a huge controversy. Why? Because it equaled the exact number of minarets at the Great Mosque in Mecca. So to elegantly solve this PR nightmare without compromising his design, the Sultan actually had to respectfully fund the construction of a 7th minaret down in Mecca. And if you look closely across those 6 minarets, you'll count exactly 16 balconies. Now, is that just a random aesthetic choice? Absolutely not. 16 was chosen specifically to permanently immortalize Ahmed I, since he was, you guessed it, the 16th Ottoman Sultan. So picture this. You're approaching from the Hippodrome side, and you reach this monumental gate. Hanging dead center is this incredibly heavy iron chain. What this went in practice was that even the most powerful ruler of the empire, riding in on horseback, was physically forced to bow his head to get through. It's a profound, tangible reminder to shed all worldly ego before entering a divine space. What's wild is that this colossal project was built in a remarkably short time. Groundbreaking was in 1609, and the official opening was in 1617. In basically just 7 years, they executed the most mature example of the central dome plan, originally conceptualized by the legendary Mimar Sinan. Holding up a central dome that spans 23.5 meters and reaches 43 meters into the sky is no joke. The architect's solution? 4 absolute units of fluted marble pillars. They're famously called elephant feet, and at a staggering 5 meters in diameter each, you can practically feel the crushing weight they're designed to hold up. But the sheer genius here is how that weight actually travels. It doesn't just crash straight down. It cascades, almost like an architectural waterfall. The heavy load flows outward from the 43-meter main dome, smoothly distributes down to 4 half domes, spreads to smaller quarter domes, and then steps safely down into the earth. All right, Section 3, the interior of the Blue Mosque, stepping inside the masterpiece. 20,000. Let that staggering number sink in for a second. That is the amount of handmade Iznik tiles meticulously placed across the interior walls. The very second you walk inside, past the grand courtyard and the marble fountain, the vastness and the sheer explosion of color just completely overwhelm your senses. Down low, the tiles feature traditional tulips and vines, but when you look up, everything changes. Dominant blue and green tiles completely take over the gallery levels, and when the sunlight filters through 260 stained glass windows, the entire space is bathed in this soft, mystical glow. It's exactly this magical interplay of light and tile that gave it its famous nickname, the Blue Mosque. Honestly, every single element inside serves a powerful, distinct purpose. You have the finely carved marble mihrab, guiding the direction of prayer. Next to it is the mimbar, which was actually acoustically engineered so that a single voice could effortlessly carry to every corner during a crowded Friday prayer. And towering above all of that, the Hunkar Mafili. It's this stunning private prayer lodge crafted from jade, wood, and mother of pearl for the Sultan. Bringing us to Section 4, More Than a Mosque, Giant Complex, exploring the Kulia ecosystem. See, Sultanahmet was never meant to just sit empty after prayers. It was a living, breathing, self-sustaining mini-city known as a kulia. We're talking about a complete societal ecosystem. It had royal tombs, schools for children, and higher learning madrasas. Below the mosque, the Arasta Bazaar hummed with commerce to actually fund the whole complex, while a dedicated hospital and soup kitchen worked daily to care for the sick and feed the hungry. So, wrapping up this explainer, we're left with a pretty amazing thought to chew on. How does the genius of a 17th century masterpiece, born from 20,000 tiles, a brilliant engineer, and a visionary sultan, continue to completely dominate the skyline of a bustling modern metropolis today? It's like that historical dialogue between the past and the present is still echoing in those walls. You just have to know how to listen.